Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck and Cooper, and I'm going to do my serious about series update for 2023 and kind of my plans for 2024. So, I'm not going to do a whole stats video this year. I don't want to do it. I keep all my data just for fun. I need to learn how to do graphs and stuff. I used to know how to do that in Excel. I don't anymore. And I just haven't, I just don't have the motivation for it. But I did pull a few numbers to talk just kind of generally about my series and things that are relevant to this. So I'm just going to kind of go through those real quick. And then we're going to talk about what my plans are for 2024. And I am going to show a few things, but we'll see what happens. So just overall, I read 285 books. So I think that's the number. There's kind of iffy. There's like a book or two I'm not quite sure of if I counted wrong or not. But that's I'm going to go with the 285. That's kind of what I showed over Storygraph. And as I said, I think it's all went off from what Goodreads said. But 3 of the books that I read, I actually read within the year, reread a second time. So I did reread Resonant Surge by Nalini Singh. No surprise whatsoever. I reread Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and I did reread House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. So those series books I just happened to reread for different reasons, but I did reread those. So that's why my number is at 285. So just a little bit higher, but that's, that's not unusual with Nalini Singh. I usually do reread her books at least once more in the year, since that was the only one I got this year from her. Of those 285, 162 of those books, so 56.8% of my reading were new to me books in series. So they are continuations in series or starting series, which I'll get to those numbers in a second. But so I really, again, my reading new to me books, 56.8% was new series books to me. Now, I did reread 51 series books, so that was 17.9%. So if you take what new to me books plus my rereads, of the 285 books I read this year, 213 were series books, which was 74.7% of my reading. Which kind of surprised me that it wasn't higher than that. It just felt like I did a lot of series reading this year. But I must have read a lot of standalones here and there with other genres and things. So that's how the numbers came out. I'm hoping that that's correct. But 74.7 or nearly 75% of my reading was part of a series, either new to me or a reread. And that's definitely, that's probably average. I don't know, or close to it at least. I did pretty well for me. Because I did want to point out that I did reread 5 other books in the year, but they were the only standalone. So only like 1.75%. So really low. And then as I said, if you subtract, I think it's like, what was it? 60, well, it's just about 70 books were not part of a series. So again, that includes all nonfiction I read and I did have standalones of certain things. So, so I did pretty good anyway on my series. So I'm not going to worry about it. So let's talk really quick about my series, more down on my series stats. I did write down how many series I started and completed. So, okay, so let's see here. So for 2023, I started 44 series. Now, again, I don't keep track of every series I've ever started because my collection is huge, and I have series that I've started, over 10 years ago that I've never completed because I read a lot of long series. So the thing is, I want to keep track of kind of what's going on with my reading right now. So 44 new series were added to my series tracker. A total of 15 series were completed in the year. I caught up on 23 series, so I think that's pretty good. Between those two, that's 38, which is pretty good, I think. And then, okay, then we go back to, of the 44 that I started, 10 of those I finished. So that's pretty good, right? And then 10 of those I started, you know, and caught up on. And then 17 of those I started but didn't catch up on. So I still have books to read in that series that are published as of right now. So not so good. And then 7 of the ones that I started, I DNF'd. So that number's a little high for me. I think this year I was a little bit more thinking about series I wanted to continue and didn't. And some of them have just I've just decided I have to let go of some things, and some of them I didn't care enough to continue on. So 7 of those I DNF'd. So I DNF'd 10 series overall, which means I didn't complete the book, or I decided after I read a book or two that I was not going to continue the series. Most of the time it was after I'd read at least 2 books before I made that decision. But I did DNF 10. So just real quick, I'm just going to show those just to be kind of interesting here. I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe you don't care to see what 10 I DNF'd. I first DNF'd the 9 Realms series by Sarah Kozloff. I had a lot of issues with certain things, even though it was a very well-written series. I got to book 2 and just the decisions that she made just didn't work for me. I DNF'd the Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. I got partway through book 2 and I decided I didn't care anymore. That's how that works. Fortuna Sworn by KJ Sutton. I read the first book and got to the end. I'm like, I don't want to continue. I didn't like the direction it was going. I did DNF God Killer, which is book 3 in the Ghost Killer. I DNF'd the 3rd book in the Ghost Seer series. It was just over and over the same kind of thing, and it just never progressed, even though the timeline was really short, so it wasn't making much sense to me. It just was not a paranormal romance I liked. House Immortal by Devin Monk. I read the first book. It was one of those books I did a try chapter on many, many years ago, and I finally read the whole book. And I just got to the end and I was like, I don't want to continue. So it was a cool, futuristic, kind of different kind of world and things. It didn't, again, another one didn't play out the way I really cared about. And I did DNF the Sandman comic by Neil Gaiman. I got, I think 4 volumes in, and then I was just like, I'm tired. It was convoluted and all over the place. I just got tired of that. And then right before, is that right? Oh no, I got, okay. And then Wild Scottish Love is in the first one in the the second book in the Enchanted Highland series. I decided to DNF this at the end of the year. It was a KU book. It's okay, you know, for a paranormal, but it wasn't really what I was looking for, and it just didn't draw me in. So anyway, and those, so let's make sure I did that. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Yes. And then the last 3, I physically, is I DNF'd the Memoirs of Lady Trent series. I read book 2, and I just decided that its writing style is not for me. It just didn't work out, even though I liked a lot of parts of it. I just wasn't worth it. I DNF'd the Witcher series by Andrzej Sapkowski. So this one I read this is up to book 2, the novel book 2, and I liked the book before this. I liked the short stories better for some, because there's more Geralt, or however it says his name. Anyway, but by this one, it was just kind of being weird, and I just got to the point I was tired, and I didn't care enough. And then my one at the end here, number 10, is a soft DNF. So this one I'm not sure what I'm going to do about. I did read A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. So this is the Elements of Cadence series. It's a duology. I did start A Fire Endless from the library, and I got partway through and I just lost interest. So this one I put down as a soft DNF series, that this could show it back up if maybe one day I feel like going back and reading A Fire Endless again, because I did enjoy A River Enchanted, even though it took me a while to get through it. And I don't know, I just think it's a little slow for me, but we'll see. So that's everything for 2023. So I didn't want to bring up all the books that I made progress in, you know, like these and my new favorites, which you can't see, sorry. It's right there, you know, like Wolfsong. Anyway, so I caught up on I read a lot of series this year. I'm really proud of that. I do have a lot of open-ended series, and again, on my list does not count all the stuff I have everything that I've done in the last couple years, because I did make that sheet last year, but I need to make more progress. So what I did is, again, I will have Lizzie Faye Loves Books, or Elizabeth, her series about series 2024 announcement video down below. It came out after I had done all my planning. So my 24 books in 2024 are all series books. Most of them are starts a new series, but they're books that I have on my everything is books I have on my bookshelf already. And then a couple of them are the next books in series that I just need to get to. So it's all series oriented. So I did do most of the series that I definitely for sure want to try to get to this year, but I picked 4 series that I want to show that I might do what Elizabeth talks about, of kind of doing them seasonally, or every quarter I try to focus on one of these series to see if I can try to get back into it. Most of these I have read either one or multiple books in the series, and I just need to continue and finish the series. And they're either completed series or they're really long series that I just want to make progress in. So I did start last year a reread of the Dark Hunter series by Sherilyn Kenyon. So I do want to continue my reread. I still think I have 4 or 5 books that I need to read before I get to books that I haven't read before. And I definitely want to make sure I get at least to Acheron's book, because that was, I don't know why I didn't get that far. Anyway, the point is that this is a series that I want to reread the books, because it's been, you know, a decade. I don't remember half of these books. And or maybe it's not quite a decade. Oh no, it is. It's been quite a long time. And I said reread these. These are paranormal romances with vampires and demons of a sort. And anyway, I really enjoyed my reread of the ones that I read so far. I just need to continue on and read some of those. So I'm going to make that one of my goals at some point. I did also restart the London Steampunk series by Beck McMaster. So I just need to reread one more book, Heart of Iron, and then I think there's 2 or 3 more novels in this series, and then that I think it's 2 novels and a novella, I think, that I need to read. And then there's another series that kind of is offshoots from that, which I don't know if I own those or not, but I have at least the rest of this series. I want to finish it. So it's one I started again in 2023 that I want to continue. So I just need to reread one more book, and then I can read the newer books in that one. So I want to do that one. Another one so this is one I just read one book many years ago. I actually don't remember what year I read it. It was a long time ago, and I've never come back to the October Days series by Seanan McGuire. And I really enjoyed this book. I started the second book, but I got distracted with something at work, or something was going on at the time. I can't remember. And I never came back to it. And I've bought probably about 8 or 9 of the books in the series. I think this is up to like 16, 20, I don't know. It's a long series, an urban fantasy series with Fae and other things. I really enjoyed this first book, so I want to reread this book and get back into the series and actually read some of the other books in the series and see if it is an urban fantasy series I want to focus on. So I do want to do that. But I need to reread that first book. And then another series where I read 8 or 9 books in the series, and then I got distracted and I didn't read the last 4 or 5 books, but I need to go back to the beginning because it's been, you know, a decade. And that is the New Species series by Lauren Donor. I don't know how you say she says her last name. I think I read 9 books in the series, and I think it goes up to 14 or something. I don't remember anymore. But the point is that it's a long series that is a paranormal romance series about they're man-made humanoids kind of thing, and it talks about what happens when they have been these experiments by the government to be ultimate soldiers, and then what happens when the public finds out about them, and how do we make what do I want to say? We want to, you know, help them, but also other people are scared of them because they are kind of like superhuman kind of things. Anyway, I only own one in physical. Everything else I own either ebook or audio. I have the whole series on digitally, and I just want to finish this series. I've just never done it because I really like it. The love stories in here I've really enjoyed this, and it was probably one of my first kind of monster-ish one, or you know, romance and stuff. So that's it. Those four are my, I'm not saying I'm going to do them quarterly, but I might try to like focus on one of these per quarter of the series. As I said, my 24 in 2024 is covering a lot of series too that I want to read. I want to read series all the time. I'm in the middle of so many series right now that I'm starting and trying to get through as well. So again, series are what I read. I mean, overall, I mean, I do read standalones. Like there are some that I read, but there's so many series that I just adore, and I want to read more. And I want to read a lot of them off of my shelf this year because I have bought a lot of first in series, which is my bane of my existence, because that's what I do all the time, is buy first books in series to try new ones. And I should be continuing and trying to finish up some older series to decide if I want to keep them or on my shelf, or, you know, be able to say that I finished those. So anyway, how are you guys doing with your series? What are your plans for 2024? Do you think I don't know about the quarterly thing. Like, to me, that's kind of, I don't know if it's going to work for me, but I did pick a series that I've started before that I want to get back into. Most of them are fairly good sized series, so I don't plan to finish them this year, but I want to get back into them and at least make progress. And, even if it's just rereading what I've read before, just to get me, and then get beyond that, like at least read one or book or two beyond what I've read before and just make progress. I guess that's what I'm looking at. So anyway, let me know how your series is and how you did in 2023, and I will talk to you later.